Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Action Comics 982. This is the next installment of the Revenge storyline. It's part 4. This is written by Dan Jurgens with pencils by Jack Herbert and Jose Luis, with inks by Jack Herbert and Ray McCarthy. Hi-Fi did color, Rob Lay did letters, Patrick Zurcher and Hi-Fi did the cover, and the editor was Mike Cotton. Now we start off on the Batman's Moon Batcave that has been taken over by these villains, and this Super Sinister Six of sorts is having a little discussion about their plan. Now, of course, Zod wants just to get his army out of the Phantom Zone. He's very one-track minded that way, but Cyborg Superman convinces him that everything he needs is in the Fortress of Solitude, and that's what all of the others are after too, and that what he needs is actually to get into the fortress to get not only the Phantom Zone window, but also anything else he might need. And everybody else is on board because everything they want is in there. Fortunately, Jonathan and Lois and Superman are all in there too. Now we do see some memorabilia in there as Jonathan's walking around with Crypto, and we see the Kryptonian battle armor, and then somebody starts talking to him, but we're not real clear on who, and it's kind of glossed over. Like, nobody's listening to the kid. There's greater problems afoot. Now, Superman's disabled sense can't be fixed just yet. They need to run more tests, but there's no time for that. Now, why? Because the villains are at the freaking door, and they are really menacing looking, of course, and Superman's gonna try and distract them long enough for his wife and son to get out of there, and he does a pretty good go of it at first. Thankfully, Kelex, the android who works at the Fortress of Solitude, is able to contact Kara, but Superman starts off strong, but quickly gets the beat down from 6 super powerhouse villains, and Zod doesn't want him dead until he kneels, which was interesting to see that. But thankfully, we get a cliffhanger ending where reinforcements are arriving. And I tell you, this was a great part to the story. It's really going really well. I was really impressed that this was such a great combination of Lois and Jonathan and Superman in the fortress, and then the fighting aspect that has to come along with it. It was an all-around really good issue. So I was really excited to see that. I'm intrigued to see the next issue, which I will probably be reading right after I record this. All around a highly recommended issue. This storyline has been really good so far. You could probably get in and figure out kind of what's going on with this issue. You'll miss a little bit of nuance, but you'll get kind of the gist. It brings you up to speed enough through natural storytelling that it's not beating you over the head with the plot. So I was really excited to see that. It gives you kind of a midway point if you miss the first few parts. So I really like it when they recap things naturally through dialogue and other aspects that you don't have to feel like it's ham-fisted. So this was a good issue for that. Dan Jurgens is a pretty well legend in my opinion in the comic industry, and he's always been good on Superman, and this is no exception. Definitely a strong issue. I would highly recommend picking this up, and it's a good Superman story if nothing else, and it's a good action adventure if you're just looking for some of that too. With that recommendation, that's gonna do it for me. As always, thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. Please consider hitting like and subscribing so you don't miss an episode, and we hope to see you on the next one.